Hello, I'm Gino. Welcome to Dazzle TV. Today we're here at Loola's Fish Farm here in Makato, Aklan in the Philippines. Dazzle, Liana, all of them, they're out fishing. I'm kind of keeping an eye on our stuff. Plus, I really don't have a lot of energy as far as fishing, so I'm just chilling by our hut here, our nipa hut, cottage for today. Today, oh, there's Dazzle. Today, my topic's gonna be do not retire in the Philippines. And these are the reasons why I think you shouldn't even think about retiring in the Philippines. First is, if you don't have patience, the Philippines might not be for you. Because here in the Philippines, it's gonna take a lot of patience for you to move here. There's a lot of obstacles when you get here. You will not have fun here if you're not patient. Some of the examples will be if you go to a bank here, if you need anything banking, it will take you hours in the bank. 1 hour, 2 hours minimum. Unlike if you're in the United States, when you go to a bank, usually it's a quick service. You know, you go up to the teller, get whatever you need to get done. Here, everything just takes a long time. Thing like ATMs, like here in our province, Dazzle and I, we have a couple of ATMs from 2 different banks. But even, especially on the weekend, you will have a problem sometimes. Machines just don't work. And not only do the machines don't work, if the machines do work, expect a long line. Like expect 10, 12 people ahead of you. And you would think, not too bad, I'll patiently wait. But sometimes there's people that will use the ATM and they'll have like 5 or 6 cards that they have to take money out. Because here in the Philippines, they have a lending program here called 5-6. It's probably like loan shark, similar to loan sharking in the Philippines. And what happens is you have to give your ATM to the person that you're borrowing money. And when you get paid, especially for if you're a government worker, your card is usually with Land Bank. They're the one that will get the money from your account. So it's not uncommon to see someone using the ATM and you're wondering, this person's taking like 15, 30 minutes taking money out of the ATM. What's going on? But those are just kind of some of the things that you really need to have patience. So many things here can happen. You have to be adaptable. You know, if you get upset real easy, the Philippines might not be for you. Roosters and dogs. If you don't like roosters, like here in the province, it's almost impossible not to be around roosters. Like even here at Loola's, I can hear in the background there's roosters, and it's almost 2 p.m. So all day long, you know, it's like it gets worse like early in the morning, like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, and you hear roosters. That's I think one thing nice, you know, where we live at Camellia Homes. It's a subdivision. People aren't allowed to have roosters. So that's one of the advantage. You know, if you live in a gated subdivision, people aren't allowed to own roosters. And dogs, stray dogs especially, there's really not a place here in the Philippines where you're not gonna see stray dogs. City, province, it's difficult to find a place where there's no stray dogs. Even in Boracay, Boracay Island, that's a tourist destination. They have a problem with stray dogs on the beach, on the main road. And of course, with stray dogs, you have that problem with their poop. You know, there's just poop everywhere because of the stray dogs. So if you don't like being bothered by roosters all during the day, at night, and you don't like stray dogs and seeing poop everywhere, the Philippines might not be for you. Not retire in the Philippines if you don't have medical insurance. That's probably the worst mistake you will make if you come here to the Philippines without medical insurance. I have seen so many people on Facebook, expats that come here to the Philippines, that get in trouble with that. They end up being hospitalized here with no money, and they're asking people on Facebook like for contribution. And so that would be like one of the biggest mistakes you would do. There are Pacific Cross is really a popular insurance here in the Philippines with expats, but of course it comes with a price. You know, it costs money to get insured with Pacific Cross, depending on your age and all that. So don't come here if you do not have medical insurance. If you're thinking, well, if I get sick, I'll just hop on the plane, go back to the U.S., and I have Medicare in the U.S. Well, that just not happen all the time, you know, because what might happen is you might have a heart attack or you might have a stroke and you're in an emergency room and they have to admit you. You can't just fly to the United States if you're already let's say you're already in the ICU. And most hospitals here, they require cash. They require payment up front. So don't come here if you don't have medical insurance. Do not retire in the Philippines if you don't have any savings or emergency money. Because here in the Philippines, so many things can happen. A typhoon could hit. I remember when Typhoon Yolanda hit us here in Aklan province. We did not have electricity for 30 days in where we live. At the time, Dazzle and we lived in Calibo. So 30 days we didn't have electricity. And that was just a struggle because we bought a small generator just to survive, but you had to pay a premium for the small generator at that time because like they just didn't have enough of it. There's so many things, like there could be an earthquake, there could be a tsunami. There's just a lot of things that can affect you if you don't have any money. I remember even my first apartment when in Calibo, I was only in that apartment like 3 or 4 months, and a typhoon came and we got flooded. I lived on the second floor, luckily, so my apartment didn't get flooded, but the downstairs, they had waist deep water on the first floor. So I was like pretty much stuck in the apartment. You know, it's like it was flooded for a couple of days. So there's just a lot of things here, unexpected things that happen. So it's always good if you have money, if you have like emergency fund. I would not retire here if I didn't have a little bit of savings, or especially emergency money. Do not retire here if you've had close calls with road rage in the United States, because the driving here will really test you. People here will drive the wrong way. They will pass you on the left. They will pass you on the right. You got motorbikes that don't yield. They just don't even look sometimes. You get into an intersection and they're just flying through the intersections. So if you've had close calls with road rage where it really bothered you that people can't drive, do not retire in the Philippines. If you know you can't stay calm while driving here, I would not retire in the Philippines. Do not retire in the Philippines if you like owning guns. When I was in the United States, I had 2 guns. I had a Glock and I had a 38. Here in the Philippines, as an expat, you are not allowed to own a gun. There will be people trying to sell you guns, because for me, since I've been here, I've been approached like, do you want a gun? I can get you a gun. You do not want to get caught here in the Philippines with possession of a gun, because it's instant jail time here in the Philippines. We've had celebrities here in the Philippines that have been caught with possession of gun and they spend time in jail. It's not like in the US where you can do open carry, you can just get a license. You just can't have that here in the Philippines. So do not retire here if you're not willing to give up your right to own a gun. Because I did, I had to, coming here, I knew that's one thing that I would have to give up, that I could no longer own guns. Do not retire here if you don't like power outages. If it'll upset you that for the whole day you won't have a power, or you don't have access to the internet because no power, because example, we're here at Loola's Fish Farm because we don't have power at the house. And we didn't have power today from, it was scheduled, luckily it's a scheduled power outage, so those are easier to survive. We didn't have power from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and then we don't have power from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here in our province of Aklan, that's common. I would say at least once or twice a month, we have scheduled power outages. And those aren't too bad actually, because you can plan. You can plan to go to fishing, you can plan to go to the beach. The worst ones are the unplanned. That happens like in the middle of the night, like at midnight or 1 a.m., the power cuts off and your air condition doesn't work. It gets hot quick. And a lot of times you wake up and you can't go back to sleep. So if you don't like power outages, do not retire in the Philippines. Do not retire in the Philippines if you're the type of person that complains about everything. Plenty of those here in the Philippines. I have met people like that just complain about everything. Complain about the traffic, complain about the trash, complain about you name it. And you will not be happy here if you're that type of a person, if you are a complaint person, because nobody's gonna be wanting to hang out with you. Be it the locals, other expats, or you're just not gonna be happy here if little things bother you and you keep complaining about it. I've known people here that complain about the internet, how slow the internet is. Well, you should have known that before you came to the Philippines. We're not a Western country. We're not an advanced country where you have high-speed internet. Do not retire in the Philippines if this is your first trip to the Philippines. You want to really know the Philippines before you decide to retire here. Most of us that retire here a year or two before, we come here to the Philippines on what we call a recon, where we check out a couple of places, check out a resort place, check out the city, check out different areas, just to get a feel on how the Philippines is. It would be a big mistake if you pack up all your stuff, never been here, and I'm retiring in the Philippines just because you met a Filipina. That would be a big mistake. Make sure you make a few trips here in the Philippines. And also, even that, it's like, be aware that when you're on vacation, when you're with your Filipina for 3 weeks or a month, it's a lot different when you retire here, because you're like on a honeymoon stage. You're like just having fun. You're probably going to Boracay, you're going to Palawan, and just having fun. You're staying at nice hotels. It's different once you start living here in the Philippines. Finding a good housing where you're gonna be comfortable, that's really important, because like when you're on vacation, you don't have to worry about that. You're just staying at Airbnb, you're staying at a hotel. But when you live here, you really have to figure out where you're gonna live, how your neighbors are gonna be. Are they gonna be loud partiers that's gonna upset you? Or is there, like, when you wake up, it's like there are roosters everywhere? Those are the kind of things that you'll experience once you retire here, once you live permanently here. So don't retire to the Philippines if you haven't checked out the Philippines yet. Do not retire in the Philippines if karaoke bothers you all hours of the day, all hours of the night. Because here in the Philippines, Filipinos love karaoke. When we have fiestas, when we celebrate birthdays, anything, birthdays, baptism, you name it. You know, Filipinos like to party, and part of the partying in the Philippines is karaoke. Especially here in the province, if you live in close proximity with other houses, you're gonna be hearing karaoke because they just love karaoke. And when I first got here in the Philippines, I wasn't really big on karaoke, still really not. But one thing I learned, if you want to endear yourself to Filipinos, is just have a song or two, one or two songs that you comfortable with, that you know that you can sing karaoke, because that will endear you with the locals here. You will meet friends easier that way here in the Philippines. So if you don't like karaoke, do not retire in the Philippines. These are just some reasons why I feel that you shouldn't retire in the Philippines. Thank you for watching.
We'll see you in our next video.